Hello and welcome to day 1 of Inktober. Yay, it's finally here! I have been looking forward to this because I bought some fancy new inks and supplies and I've been dying to try them out properly. This is pretty simple. First prompt word was fish. So I went on Pinterest and put in the word fish and found one that made me inspired to draw, which was this, it's actually a video or a GIF of some koi fish in a pond, and I was like, I want to draw some koi fish in a pond. So obviously using my two characters that I've been developing over the past month, if you've seen my videos, you'll recognize them. I did an illustration of Dieter sitting on the edge of a pond with some koi fish swimming away from him, because he's, if you don't know, he's a ghost. So I thought, I don't know, maybe the fish are scared of him, so they're swimming away. And he's just sat there all like smiling because he likes causing trouble because he's a little prankster ghost guy. And so he's sitting there all happily on the side of the pond while all the fishies are swimming away from him. And he's got his feet in the water with his shoes on. It's just, anarchy. He doesn't really care, I guess, that his boots are getting wet and probably his socks. Whether or not he can even feel the water because he is a ghost, I don't know. But I thought it suited his character to just sort of been sat there with his shoes in the water, not caring, because he is very nonchalant about that kind of stuff, just doesn't care. He likes weirding people out and causing trouble. Anyway, and then in the background you can see a pair of feet, which are obviously Angel Girl's feet. She's landing behind him. I'm gonna go ahead and guess this is maybe the first time they've met. They haven't met properly yet. Wow, I don't know if you heard that, but that was my cat. Fairly sure it was Vegemite crying at the door to come in, but I will not let him in because I'm trying to record audio and he will climb on my laptop. Anyway, Angel Girl, I'm guessing this is maybe the first time they've met. She's touching down on the earth behind him. You can just sort of see her feet just touching the ground. Oh, and there's the top of my head. Yep, that was me. Enjoy that. Line art is hard, and I'm normally getting as close to the book as possible, or page as possible, to do it, to make sure I get all the details right. And obviously I can't normally do that in videos because my head gets in the way. And using this pen, this is a Pentel Pocket Brush Pen. It's not my usual type of liner. I'm taking inspiration heavily from Haikala for Inktober, and she uses this liner a lot, and so I bought myself one to try it out. I'm not very good with brush pens. I think I may have mentioned that in the previous video. I'm much better with a paintbrush than I am with a brush pen, but I wanted to try it, so that's what I'm doing. But obviously it makes the line art a bit more difficult for me, which is why my head pops into view a few times there. Just trying to see what I'm doing around my hand and not get too much in the way of the camera. So yeah, not a lot else to say about this piece, I guess. I'm using a Winsor and Newton watercolour sketchbook, not my bound one. This is the spiral bound one, as you can see. I bought two a while ago. Hadn't actually used the spiral bound one yet, and I thought it would be perfect to use for Inktober. It's got 20 sheets, so 40 pages in it, so I can sort of go back to front with it to make sure I get all the days in there nicely. I'm not going to do all the pages sort of back to front. I might even do 2 pieces per page, like on each side, on one side, just to mix it up a bit depending on how the illustration comes about in my mind. So I'm using inks, which I don't normally use. I usually use, my words are really bad. I normally use watercolors, which obviously reactivate when you put water back on top of them. And I'm not using watercolors, I'm using inks in this. As you could actually see in the corner there, these are the ones from High Colours online store. She released a bunch of the inks that she uses. I think they're called like Rower and Klingner or something like that inks. I am not looking at the bottle, so I couldn't tell you. But they each came in a set of 3 really nicely chosen colours in each set, so you didn't need every single one of them to get some nice colour palettes. But I bought all of them because I had a bit of extra money and wanted to. So I'm using inks, and I decided to take advantage of the fact that they don't reactivate, so I just did a full wash over the entire piece to kind of keep the colours uniform, if you know what I mean, so that the whole piece has the same sort of air to it. And I wanted to keep it as a limited colour palette as well, so I just used, I think they are orange, vermilion, golden yellow, and carmine, maybe? That might be what the colours are called, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not sat near them to tell you. But I just used 4 colours and I mixed them as I needed to, and I'm really happy with how it came out. It's not my usual style of thing to do. I don't normally do limited colour palette pieces, but I might make that a theme for Inktober just because it was really fun. I don't really know what else to say, to be honest. I made that sort of dark red be the darkest colour, other than the line art, of course, because the line art was black. But I made that sort of be the darkest colour, so that's the black of the piece. And I think it turned out really nicely. I'm yawning again. I'm really sorry. I wanted to make the piece sort of pop off the page, which is why I chose the limited colour palette, because I don't really know a lot about colour theory. I know sort of the basics, the obvious stuff about colour theory, but not enough, I don't think, to do a full page illustration like this with every colour under the sun that I wanted to use and have it look nice, not a big muddy mess of colour. I'm going to practice that more, I think, throughout Inktober. I'm definitely going to do at least one piece where I just go full hog with all the colours that I want to go with. But this piece in particular, I had this in my mind as soon as I saw the koi fish pond gift thing, when I was doing some sketches in September to get myself sort of ready for October, and I knew straight away that I wanted to do this as a limited colour palette, and I wanted to use these particular colours, like the red, the orange, the yellow, for it. I don't know why. Yawning again. Don't have kids, people. They make you really tired. Babies make you so tired. Anyway, yes, I had in mind, as soon as I sort of sketched up this piece, that I wanted it to be the limited colour palette that I chose. And I'm really glad that I did. Something I also did, I don't know if you can really tell, and I didn't show it on camera, but I used some masking fluid to give the texture of like light shining on water on top of the water, because I wanted to differentiate between the top of the water and the bit underneath the water where the fish are, because I don't know if you could tell at this point, but that line where the sort of red harshly stops is supposed to be underneath the water, as if you're looking under the water and you can see the fish swimming under the water as well as over the top of the water, which is kind of how the GIF was that I saw. And I was like, I really want to encapsulate that feel to this picture. Picture. I did use the right word. So I used my masking fluid to try and give that ripply light shine effect on top of the water, and when I remove the masking fluid, you'll see how it came out. I'm really happy with how it came out. There was a little bit of tearing of the paper at the very top where the lines are very close together, and I don't know if that's because the lines were so close together, or maybe I didn't leave the paper to dry enough before I removed it. I was a bit impatient, and I think that may have ruined it a little bit for me. But it didn't rip too bad, and instead of leaving it plain white like I was going to, I added a very pale wash of yellow over the top, just to sort of settle down the little ripped pieces. And it also worked, I think, because Dieter's supposed to be very pale and white, and obviously he's very yellow in this piece. I think adding that wash of yellow over the top of the shines definitely helped to bring it back down so that the yellow looked like white, if you know what I mean. Like, it looked like the lightest shade of colour in the whole picture. And here I go removing the masking tape. I really wanted to do a sharp border for this, but I also had bits that I wanted to break the border, and I am really happy with how it came out. Again, the masking tape did rip the paper a little bit. It could be because the paper's not that great for using masking tape and masking fluid on. I don't 100% know. It's maybe too textured for it. It is cold pressed, so could be. But yeah, the camera cuts out in a minute, so you don't get to see the whole process of removing the masking fluid, but I will insert a completed picture of the piece. So thank you for watching. I will be back tomorrow with another Inktober video. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, all those lovely YouTube things. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, check me out on Patreon, and have a wonderful October. Thanks for watching. Bye.